Okay, so here we are. We're getting ready to import our miniDSP settings and filters that we created in MSO into the miniDSP. So I've got a couple of things open on the screen here. The first one on the left is the text from our gains and delays and the filter report that we just looked at. And on the right-hand side, I've got the miniDSP plugin loaded and connected into my miniDSP. Um, one thing, this config, you can see I've got no PEQs on anything here. If I look, no crossovers, everything's bypassed. My PEQs are flat for everything. One of the things that most people don't realize, because it's not the most intuitive thing. It's super helpful as well for miniDSP users. You can rename these things. So like this input here, you know, that's my input coming from my receiver. I know how I have my subs hooked up over here, so I could rename these guys if I go to the output tab here at the top, I can rename them as well. So for example, I know that's my left front, that's my right front, that's my left rear, that's my right rear. This is going to make importing things a little bit easier. So I suggest you go in and rename it. It'll also bring it over here so you can check your routing out, make sure that's all set. But here we're set up to go. So the first thing we need to do is get our gains and our delays in. So gains and delays, all of this stuff is all implemented on the output side. So we're going to click the output button, which is right below config 1. We can see we've got our 4 channels here. So again, because we named everything appropriately, this is going to be pretty easy for us to go ahead and implement. So in this config, my left front is a minus 2.3. So I'm going to do minus 2.3. My right front is 0, or excuse me, my left rear is 0, which is this one. My right, see how it gets confusing if you don't have this stuff set up the right way. My right front is minus 4.94. miniDSP only allows one decimal place, so that's one reason that you're going to see some small variation between your verification metrics and verification measurements in REW and what you would see within the traces in MSO. The other variations that you might see in the measurements are mic positioning. If your mic is not in the exact same position, which it never is unless you took your measurements and left it while you're making these changes, you will see a little bit of a variance. So not unexpected. But anyway, so again, only 2 significant digits. I just enter it in and let it do the rounding for me. But again, my left rear is 0, and then my right rear is a minus 1.78. It takes that and rounds it for me again. So let's just let it do the rounding. Then the last bit that we need to enter in manually is the delays. So my left front is 0. My left rear is 28.61. My right front is 25.98, and my right rear is 19.60. So I have all of my gains and delays entered in into my subs. So the last thing that I need to do is I need to get my filters in place. So the filters are pretty straightforward. What we're going to do is you see the filters here. I've got the files, but we don't need to worry about all of this. Like we don't have to type that in. We don't even have to copy paste it, which is going to be error prone. What we're going to do is we're going to use the import feature under the advanced PEQ settings of the miniDSP. So let me go ahead and stop sharing this guy, and let's just concentrate on our miniDSP config. I'll make this a little bit bigger for you. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start with our left front sub. So we're going to click on PEQ, and it's going to bring up our equalizer settings. So you can set these in a basic mode, which is the default, or you can set these in an advanced mode. In a basic mode, you'd come in and you would manually enter the frequency, the gain, and the Q for each of these filters. You would have to do that up to 10 times, depending on how many of these that you implemented. Again, MSO, miniDSP make this easy on us. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into advanced mode. In advanced mode, there's this import button over here. So if I click import, it's going to bring up a pop-up window. Let me make sure that you guys can see that pop-up window. And you may have to browse around and find exactly where you save these files. I opened it earlier just so it'd be a little bit easier. But I know I'm on my left front sub, so I'm going to click my left front filter. I'm going to say open. That's going to go away. Let me hide my import thing again, and we can see, hey, I've got some PEQs on this guy. Sweet. So we want to repeat that setting for each of our other channels. So we'll go ahead and close this. We'll go to the right front PEQ. Just click to advanced mode. Select import. Select right front for me. Whatever you called your sub, call your sub. Or find your sub. We'll import it. We've got PEQs. We'll close that one, and we're going to repeat this for each sub. Advanced, import. Which one am I doing? I forgot which one I'm doing. Hang on a second. Left rear. Left rear. Finally, the right rear. And now I've got all my PEQs. I close that. Everything is done and ready to be measured in your room for verification. It's actually really simple to get these things in here. Again, I'll probably do another video at some point on how to take the measurements for use with MSO. I would want to take my verification measurements the same way, and we'll go through that later, and I'll get you the details on that. Again, I mentioned earlier, you're going to see a little bit of variance. You've got a single decimal place versus 2 decimal places in MSO. Then your mic has to be in the exact same perfect position to get things that you compare, which basically never happens. I even will use a 2-plane laser level to make sure I get things in a pretty consistent place, but there's always some kind of a variation between them. So you're all set. You're all ready to go. Run your room correction software and enjoy. We'll hopefully see you in the next video. Thanks.